Wednesday night Rocket League here for LOS Champs playoffs action. So many players, so many teams playing for a shot at this. We're going to see 4 different teams tonight. Alligator Service here, joined alongside Money Magic back in the booth. And Money, we got a couple of matchups. It's playoff time. You and I were talking to the DMs before. It all comes down to the playoffs. This is the chance that players are pushing for.
It feels good to be in the playoffs. It has to. It's what you've worked for 6 weeks leading up to this right here, fighting for your spots, fighting for your positions. And there's only a couple more weeks to decide if you're walking away with that finals or not. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be good. I am very excited for it. We're waiting to get this first matchup going. It's going to be a tier 4 2v2 match. The number 4 Darkside Masters versus the number 13 Happy to be back. And I'm excited for it. And Money, as we're waiting for the players to come in, you know what else I'm excited about here at LOS Champs?
What's that,
I'm excited about Season 3. Registration open now for the league, running October 2nd to December 10th. We got Rocket League. Folks already know about that. But bringing in some of the extra modes, we're going to have Rumble, we're going to have Drop Shot, crew battles for East and for Europe. Money, you ever played a crew battle matchup? I got to ask.
I never have it. To be honest, it's the first I've heard of it. So
it is a blast and a half. It's the Gamers 8 format where you do a 3v3, a 2v2, a 1v1. The rules, it's super fun. I've casted my share of them. It is an utter blast. So definitely worth checking out, folks. We're bringing in, we got Valorant, we got Apex, we got Pokemon Unite. We got a ton of stuff, but know what, Money? We also got game number 1 of our first matchup. Again, 2v2, tier 4, the number 4 squad versus the number 13, but you know what? The ranks coming in are only a suggestion. They do not tell us how it's going to go. The only way to find out is to play.
Absolutely. And play is now underway with your first match is well and going here with an early attempt by AK there. King Gerbils on the defense while he gets destroyed there on a demo. Zaya has an air dribble, gets 2 touches, goes for the flip reset, powerful sins, gets your clear out to the corner as the teams right now are looking to see what is to be expected of one another in these very first few seconds here, 25 to be exact, and we're starting to see a little bit of fanciness come out there early on, so hopefully there's more to come. We like good Rocket League, we like good bumps too. Gator, what do you think about this so far?
I think the players are looking like they're trying to warm up into it. You know, pretty typical for how we see the first kind of games go. And in twos, it gets a little bit extra of not wanting to overextend much early on. But when you get into the playoffs, you start getting the nerves going on in it. I think you got to strike first. It's the best of 7. They got some extra time. If they go off a little early, that's not quite the way you want to start it off, though, if you're a fan of Happy to be back. But if you're here for Darkside Masters, you're all right with you just saw.
Yeah, I mean, the only goal that matters is the goal that goes in, and it doesn't matter how it happens, slow to go in or an absolute banger from half field. It feels good, the opener for Darkside there, you know. But there's plenty of time here for Happy to be back to have their answer there with a bit of a mistouch coming out from Zaya. 50s coming out from AK onto the ball there. Zaya has your possession there, looking to challenge midfield. King Gerbils taking the challenge there. AK with a big shot midfield, a touch from Zaya almost. And a goal, AK, for the second one in round 1.
Quick offense coming out after that own goal to start it off. Now just a passing play, AK, ZA. They're going to get that going. I really like seeing it. You know, Money, you get that initial hiccup by the defense. The best thing you can do as an offense is just try to press that issue and start getting your way into the back of their minds early into this series. Start building yourself up a lead. They're the favorites in by record. And the first minute and a half definitely showing the better in terms of bringing in aggression, keeping hold of the ball.
Yeah, the aggression, I would say the aggression, like you said, that is the takeaway point for Darkside Masters right now. It's the aggression and the seeing of opportunities. There was almost an opportunity there for Happy to be back, but no one was quite there to see it. It may have happened a little quick and unexpectedly. Not normally something you see when teams take a ball across their own net. And King Gerbils takes the 50 with AK. Is it in? It's off the close post. Gerbils gets the clean up there and the opener for Happy to be back.
Solid follow through. That's all you can really say about it. A good challenge out in the midfield. King Gerbils following it up and cleaning up. Not getting too terribly jumpy at it and not overthinking the situation in front of him. So getting back onto the scoreboard, getting within 1. The kickoff is certainly in favor here of Darkside Masters. They'll try to get something quick as well. AK a little high. Prideful Sins there to meet.
Absolutely. Good defense there by Prideful Sins to read the backboard there. Absolutely necessary when you get up into these upper, higher and higher tiers. The backboard becomes more of an asset you have to work with, and a double commit might be the asset that Happy to Be Back needed there, but AK is quick on the re-challenge there to make up for that mistake that they had. And AK, again, on your 50, they're looking for the challenge to go to midfield. King Gerbils has your push to the opposite corner here. As the ball comes to the midfield, Prideful Sins, that has to sting. There's a price to pay for Sins, apparently, and it is a demo and a goal, apparently. A demo and a goal, according to Zaya, as we are up now by 2-goal lead.
Salt in the wound. It was a great demo, too. AK, great positioning on it. And then Zia taking it all the way across. That's one of the best outcomes you can get with getting a demo on the defense like that. And it's working out well for Darkside Masters. I was going to bring up the physicality as well, Money. We're starting to see a little bit more bumps. Taking a bit of a bird's eye view here, we're getting into that situation rather early in this series where you're starting to see the rotations widen up a little bit as the players are looking to try to scratch the pain off their opponent.
Absolutely. Make space. You can't beat the problem, remove the problem. It's always the best option a lot of times, but you have to make sure it doesn't put you out of position for your teammate there. Almost a double tap there off the backboard read. Very tight there for Zaya. Doesn't go his way. Gerbils is going to take this off the wall through the air. He gets a tap, goes for the double read. Will it happen? 8K is there, tried and true. As Powerful Sins looks to get an answer of his own, it'll be Gerbils instead with the correct answer here, and takes the differential down by 1 once again.
Gerbils, I mean, they're a ground creature, right? I mean, setting up the air gerbil coming across from the side, kind of swatted away AK there, but no, the quick turn, quick pop, and able to, again, we're going to get us within 1, so we're not seeing Happy to Be Back shy away too much. You don't anticipate them doing, but of course, playoffs brings a whole different level of nerves. They got that 1-goal differential now, but back on defense, it's going to be a 2v1. Zia trying to pass it, but cannot quite wrap it around, and Money, we'll see if Happy to Be Back can get an equalizer here and make up for that bit of a slow start.
Equalizer, I don't know. AK, speak it into existence, and it will not happen, apparently. It's the opposite effect here. AK gets a nice pop off the wall, and a tap all the way to the bottom right. King Gerbils just not quite there as it goes just in front of his front bumper. And we're back to a 2-goal differential.
Very interested to see if this is kind of how this series develops. I like the poise coming out from Darkside Masters early on here. They should get another one, and AK does, keeping it off that post. Thought he was going to send that a little bit too near initially, but I really like the poise. I like the pressure coming out from them. They have the 3-goal lead here with a minute left. Obviously only game 1 of the best of 7, but if they can keep up this kind of composure and keep just pushing and getting these offense on, I mean, they got 9 shots compared to 2 right now. One of the shots, I mean, wasn't even their own. One of the goals wasn't their own. So a lot of aggression, a lot of possession coming out from this blue duo.
Absolutely. The possession is only minorly interrupted here as we get to a potential goal set for the Happy to Be Back crew. And it hasn't left the Darkside Masters half there for a little bit of time, an extended period for what is used to here. Zaya, with an attempt of his own, fakes the air dribble, gets the pop over, and the bump to boot to ensure victory here as the 6th goal reigns in with 38 seconds left.
Yeah, that was just clean. There's no other way you can describe that. That was a very clean goal. And if you're seeing that coming out in game number 1, that is going to be a little rough if you're a fan of Happy to Be Back, because when you see the opponents start not just clicking, but playing confidently like that, that is a dangerous sign. So they're going to try to go for a 7th goal here, and it's playoffs. Go for what you can.
Absolutely. The nerves can work against you or with you in terms of your playoffs. And your seeding bracket, ceiling pinch. Good Lord. Okay. Didn't expect that one, but who am I to guess? I've seen, I expected at this point. These teams are going to put on a show for us here. A big dribble show coming up here right now. AK shuts it down quick. Zaya gets bumped. And we're in the corner of the Happy to Be Back squad once again here. Zaya with one more shot to go off the backboard. He gets the read. AK shortly followed behind. It's down, and Darkside Masters takes round 1.
Yeah, a huge push there. And I mean, getting 6 goals, I mean, just taking a look at the stats, I mean, AK scored as many goals as the rest of the field combined. Like, just coming out, I mean, 4 goals on 5 shots, just the aggression. And that's really what it came down to. Happy to be back. They weren't playing bad by any means, but Darkside Masters, they were playing quick, they were playing aggressive. And when you get into these situations, I mean, that can just be what it takes.
Yeah, it's good aggression, good possession, and ultimately good connections on the plays there. There was only a couple mid shots where we saw maybe a little bit of a double commit, maybe a little bit of overconfidence, but at the end of the day, if it's 6-2, you've got goals to sit on, you've got some slack to give a little bit, right? So Game 2, it'll be interesting to see how these teams come together in Game 2, because, you know, nothing is written in stone here. Playoffs, I've seen upsets. I've seen the bottom seed take out the top. Like, it can happen.
I've been a number 1 seed getting taken out by 16 before. It doesn't feel good, but but it'll come to Game 2. It's just been Game 1. I really like what Darkside Masters have brought out so far. The offense has been great. The possession has been good overall. Happy to be back again. They haven't really made mistakes, so they certainly have what it takes to get back into this one. We'll just see if they can get that hot start, not follow too far behind early, and let Darkside Masters start running away with their own offense.
I think we're seeing a bit of the 2 separate play styles kind of come to bats here, and the Happy to be back squad, they've got the entirety of the job to say, how do we stop this pressure and the speed they're dictating, and that's how you do it. Prideful Sins with the tap in there, and the opening goal for Happy to be back. There you go. It would have been a goal there from King Gerbils. Prideful Sins secures it the rest of the way in, and that's it, Gator. That is the adjustment.
It got set up there from that challenge in the corner from King Gerbils. I mean, he's the one that got the boost steal. He's the one that set up his teammate, and it was going to be a goal, but a goal secure. It's not a goal steal, although it'll be better for the stat lines. He is probably going to get the equalizer here, unless something goes awry. But with a walk in the park like that, it's just going to go right down the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I like the aggression. I like the pace that Happy to be back is trying to set, but we have to be careful that we don't get too sucked into the fun and leave our backsides open, because we've seen Darkside Masters is very quick on that ball. They're very quick to convert, and they're very quick to shoot. So they have to be very careful to not leave themselves open like that. And another attempt here coming out, maybe. King Joe was opting to take possession. He leaves for lack of boost issues, and Prideful Sins takes a 50 with Zaya there. It is in the half of the Darkside Masters at this point. They've been seen on the defensive footing for a little bit of this game so far, but it's just not quite been a minute there. And they seem to be kind of comfortable, kind of confident, and kind of getting goals. AK with the second one here and bringing us to a 1-goal diff in Game 2.
AK is just getting a good read on that one to cut upfield. You know, Money, there's so often when you're in 2s, going in for a challenge on a centered ball is so much of a higher risk-reward situation than it is, especially in 3s, because it's often so tempting to go in, but if you miss the play, you end up leaving your own net wide open. AK, I thought, did a perfect cut on there. They really wasn't opening themselves up to too much risk and worked out, obviously able to get the lead here. Now it's going to be up to Happy to be back. They had an opportunity early. They weren't able to get it. AK is going to get one instead. A bit of an assist off of the post. And it felt like we were tied for the longest time, and now suddenly in a matter of moments, Darkside Masters pull away, now up 2 early on.
Yeah, it's literally, it felt like it was almost an eternity when we were tied for some reason, even though it wasn't. And it just shows the amount of tension that's in the air, I would guess, because, like, you can feel it. Like, both teams are pushing for it as hard as they possibly can here. Off the backboard pushing, Zaya gets a pop over the last defender. Prideful Sins just there in time there. Happy to be back, is happy to be there for that save. AK gets a tap, and it's just inside of that far beam. And that, my friends, is a hat trick, if I dare so say myself, for AK.
King Gerbils was trying to get the play from the back wall. I could see him following along. Just had the first 75-80% of the read was there, and that last touch was not. But AK escorting it across the goal line and says, no, wait, your home is here. We're going to stop, and we're going to get ready for our next date.
Absolutely. 3 goals now separate us. And it's kind of been, it was definitely an opener for Happy to be back. And kind of the mid game is sort of belonging to, well, not sort of, it is belonging to the Darkside Masters there. Demo onto the defense is not back. Zaya with the double tap and the 4-goal differential now. Wow, just if that demo would have came in a moment sooner, this wouldn't have came through like that, but Zaya is not to be messed with.
Yeah, no, the timing, again, it was so close. It was there for Happy to be back, but just that heartbeat too late, the ball pops up, and Zaya getting a good read on it too, being able to get up on it quick, following it through, and now gets to go back and play defense a bit, is Happy to be back. Are probably going to be happy to be on the offensive end for what feels like the first time in quite a while. But that's going to be awkward touch, AK, possession, goes for some midfield control. And Zaya lying in wait across the mid, looking to try to get the full boost, looking to try to get a play, but AK might just do it solo, but Prideful Sins instead is going to get the save. Keep us within 4 with half a game left.
Absolutely. Narrowly by 5 there. AK with another shot that, you know, any one of those shots could be absolutely deadly. Luckily enough, that one wasn't. We've got no boost in the tank. A pass mid for Prideful Sins. Gerbils on your shot. It didn't have the power he needed, and AK gets that save to the side there. Or not to the side, the opposite end of the field there. Prideful Sins opting to let that ball come to him and work for him here. Gerbils has to pick up here and put it to the side. Zaya gets a tap to your corner, looks for the double read, doesn't get there for it. It's an open race. AK last to beat. AK has to be there, and he is. And Happy Back they're keeping possession after these attempts right here, and I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I really like what I'm seeing. King Gerbils, good stuff, my man. The second goal for Happy to be back and pulling them closer and closer to that tie that they're so looking for.
And look, Money, that's just to put a pin in your point perfectly. So far, Darkside Masters have been playing faster. They've been quick to the free ball. They've double committed a couple of times on defense, but when they've been able to get back into position so quickly, it doesn't really matter. And how do you beat that is you have to control possession. You have to control the clock. And when Happy to be back do that, they scored immediately. Now this is going to be a bit wide and kind of a tale of the tape. If King Gerbils was able to hold on to it, not shoot it too early, hold on to possession to get something a little bit better, but instead they're going to be sprinting over, trying to get back into this controlled offense, and instead Darkside Masters, they're just going to be hunting this across the midfield line.
Absolutely. Hunting and scoring, apparently, Prideful Sins. I was spectating King Gerbil there. My apologies. We caught the mistake. The caster is buns. Now a 2-goal differential at 68 seconds left.
That was pretty happy.
Dude, they're doing it. They are starting to control a bit more.
Yeah, they just got to keep this going longer. Is 66 seconds going to be enough time? Or 68 total, but I don't know. But they're starting to get those pieces. And with it being a best of 7, I mean, going down 2-0 is not what anybody plans to do. But it's not like it's a best of 5 where they would be sitting there on serious point immediately. Of course, for them, they're going to be wanting to get this 1-1 here, but they're going to get this 1-2 punch. It will not result in a goal for now, but still, keeping it back in the blue zone. Just shots not appearing, no matter how hard they're trying.
Good 50 there from Prideful Sins. Very risky as last man back to commit up for that 50 there, but it works in their favor, and they're remaining in the half of Darkside Masters. Remaining threats, remaining challenges. AK, big booming clear, trying to draw down that clock. They don't care how they do it. They're not trying to give up this lead any more than they already have, to the extent of they've had their time, they've had their food, it's time to eat. Zaya denies the dinner dish. AK, big shot from the opposite corner. It's in top left 90 for the 6th goal for your Darkside Masters squad.
And at that point, I mean, you can't blame Happy to be back. You got to pull the goalie. You're down by 2 that late. I mean, you just keep pushing and try to get it going. So another 6-goal game, though, for Darkside Masters. And Money, I didn't think that they were going to get to that total again after how Happy to be back were able to slow them off. But no, alas, that's how we're going to see ourselves. 6-3, a 2-0 lead.
Well, you know, it's only been 2 games in this best of 7. We saw leaps and bounds of improvement there from both sides, with Happy to be back finding that early pressure, finding a lot more pressure in general than game 1. It just, in the end, towards the tail end of that game, mid and tail end, it just kind of fell back into the hand of Darkside. But it's progress, it's improvement, it's exactly what Happy to be back is looking for. Now they need to put all the pieces together.
That's what's so awkward about situations like this, too, because it was a vast improvement. If you're just looking at the stat sheet, though, it just means they got one more goal. It was closer than it looks, and I would like to see this end up being potentially a happy to be back victory here. I just want to see them be able to seize it, because they've been so close so many times, but you know, that's not up to me. That's up to them. But we'll see how it all goes out. Darkside Masters, of course, they're going to want to sweep. This is the playoffs. They're not going to want to deal with any of that nonsense of any sort. So they're going to go ahead into game 3 and see how well this can go. Kickoff underway. And already a demo on the board for Happy to be back.
Yeah, big demo early on there, and it gives a little bit of space to be had, a little bit of a goal attempt there, doesn't quite come through. AK's got an air dribble, there's one touch, not quite the second. Gerbils cuts it off early there to stop that from becoming an absolute death sentence for the goal there. And it's feeling good for them right now. They're cutting off the plays early. Zaya forced to take the corner opportunity off the wall, goes to the musty, doesn't get the connection that he's looking for. It's high off your backboard. Prideful Sins. Yes, I held my breath there, but it is in far post. And good goal there.
You saw the angle of the ball coming off of this. You're drawing the triangle. You got the near side post. You got the far. Go for the hypotenuse. Hit the furthest you can go on that shot. And he still does it. And you see the post physics coming into it. And you said hold your breath. I was too, because you can almost never trust which way it's going to bounce when you're first watching it. And that one, I thought we were going to be watching a dunk too from AK, but the quick swarm by Zia will be denied as well. Suddenly a very, very effective turnaround here for Happy to be back. They got to keep this speed up, though, as Darkside Masters getting speedy quick.
Absolutely. There was a demo attempt there to force that 2v1 to become a 2v goal, and it didn't come through, and it almost cost them on the resurge there. But demo's coming out. There's one to beat here. We got to go quick. We got to go now. AK is there here and now for your challenge. Zaya is pushing that ball out to the corner, looks for the read off the sidewall bounce, doesn't get it. AK is there to clean it up and push it to the back wall read. And AK goes ahead and commits. It's a goal off of the par of Prideful Sins there. I'm pretty sure I saw that. And it found its mark.
Yeah, it just went off of his hood. He was quick turning. No, he had turned away. He was in that near post, but he angled to go back towards the front of the net, and that last turn is what opened it up. And it was seized upon by AK to get them back to a tie game. And, you know, Money, we've seen this before. We're Happy to be back, have scored first. Darkside Masters have equalized every time. They usually do it pretty quick. It took longer here in game number 3, and they don't take the lead afterwards. Happy to be back instead are going to be the ones on top after a quick charge in by Prideful Sin.
Like I said, we've seen this before. We've seen the early goal from Happy to be back. We've seen it. But you know what? We're 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, and there's only 3 goals total. We were a bit ahead of that in terms of total goals, if I'm not mistaken, for our other 2 games. It just shows that, if anything, that Darkside Masters is not able to capitalize on as many plays there, because Happy to be back has sort of figured out what they need to do to shut them down. I mean, the proof's in the pudding here. They led first. They've got the lead now. They're looking for the third. They get it. A very resurgent squad here.
Oh, it was a great bump attempt. AK rocking a hard place. Prideful Sins doesn't make contact, but AK had to back it up and avoid it. And I just love to see it. But Money, just kind of looking at it, I mean, Happy to be back. To me, they're figuring out how to get that second touch when they've been back on defense. Darkside Masters have still been very quick to it, case in point right there, but Happy to be back are starting to find those lanes where they get that first touch and it goes over to a teammate instead of immediately being seized by DM. That's what's bringing them up by 2 now with about half the game to go, up by 1 with about half the game to go, as Zia dimes up AK to bring it back with an emphatic fashion.
Oh, and what a goal. What a read. That's a good goal right there. If you can't, try again is the methodology there. When they try to stay on offense, Darkside Masters pressing the issue. They've got to get these goals. They've got to get these wins. And that was just, we've tried this way a couple times. Let's add a little bit of flair to it. And let's get a nice sidewall read for a goal. And very violent 50 there. Falls into possession to her, another 50. And this is probably the best game we've seen thus far better games to follow, I would imagine. But here and right now, I don't know who takes this. Is it the calm, cool collectedness of you're happy to be back at this moment, or is it the ruthless aggression of Darkside Masters?
And
as we say,
recency bias. It looks like Darkside Masters are going to bring it back to get a win here. Of course, 2 minutes left, but they're finding another switch. Every time it seems like they're being stymied, they're making the adaptations too, while still keeping up that speed and not straying too far from the gameplay that they like to do. So, hey, 2:02 left, 3-3. We saw 6 goals in the first 2 games from Darkside. We got 6 goals total now. Maybe we'll see something happen. Maybe we'll see King Gerbils with a quick beat. Got angry that I called him a ground critter earlier. Finds a nice aerial to get that lead back.
So he did not like it. That was a good read there. Didn't need the assistance of the Darkside Masters defense there. He took it all for himself, and they're back in the lead again here in Game 3. This has been quite the turnaround as a game so far for them. Plenty of time to go, but will they hold on to it, or will they end up on match point? We got one to beat here. Zaya, good save, last possible second as he was being walked down by the Happy to Be Back offense. A flip reset coming out. They fake down to the floor there by AK, and Zaya has the ball to himself for this corner. Opts to bring it down. Prideful Sins is there to read the drop down and almost bags the 5th goal for his squad there as the ball sails through the air with Zaya short and fall behind. AK looks for the double read, and that might be a bit of a double commit there, but AK is quick to get back. That's kind of what's been saving them on some of those attempts where they end up going both go up for it. But
Steve, if he got back there too, I had to hold my breath. You talked about it in game number 1, the back wall being such a vital piece of real estate. And so far throughout this game, Happy to Be Back had been playing it well, but this time going to be a missed touch by Prideful Sins. On the replay, I saw contact, but you know what? We'll say lag touch. Either way, AK charging down, getting that tie game right back. Money Magic, they will not go away. They want to get to that 3-0 series lead without any hope for Happy to Be Back. They just want to snuff that out, but Happy to Be Back, they fought with their back against the wall so far. Prideful Sins will look to do a little bit more escorting it, but AK cutting it off.
Absolutely. The Happy to Be Back squad has definitely brought something to the table here. And Darkside Masters is not thrilled in the slightest, as we can see here. Opting to take this back, create some space, and get a new opportunity. Zaya is taking the long road here, off his back wall here, looking for the double read. It comes off the wall there. AK short to follow. Gets a touch off his wall towards his own net, unfortunately. They're running the clock down. They can't get scored on now. Darkside Masters, if you're going to get it out, it has to be here. This could be bad. As the ball looks to fall down off the backboard, this could be gnarly. It's overtime. Gator, did you see this coming?
I did not, because the camera just missed it, but the most feels backflip man by Zia. He was lined up to get the read off that midfield play. Oofta. We can let our collective breaths out here for Happy to Be Back. They survived to get into overtime, but the pressure building very quickly here. They'll have a slight relief valve. Prideful Sins might be able to get a little more. But AK down to Zia. Is this going to be it? Quick catch, quick pop. AK, make a drop. Zia getting demoed, so he's not going to contribute to the play for the moment. But a lot of aggression so far, Money. I mean, it's been all Darkside Masters so far at this overtime.
Yeah, it's been completely their show and their story right now, but Happy to Be Back is not to be counted down and out. And I swear, every time I go to say something gnarly happens here. The bump on one and the minor beat on the second, and that takes our overtime there. AK.
Just a beat on the challenge.
That's game 3.
Yeah, it felt like it was building up to be so much more than that, than just getting to the ball first. But hey, see ball, touch ball, bing bang sling slang, win in overtime. No, Happy to Be Back. But on the bright side, they held Darkside Masters to only 5 goals. So I would like to see it. They're so close, but no, Darkside Masters, they're prepped to sweep. Money, they're in the position to do it.
They are primed and prepped, but I'm looking at the stats. Like, if we called last game close, This one's even closer. The shot count tells it all there. You know, you got 8 and 7. That is very close. So
yeah, we're starting to see assists come into it. The save numbers are actually going down slightly. There's a lot of players that had several coming out through these games so far, but they're just starting to match the pace better. And I mean, happy to be back. They're gonna have to win 4 in a row and get a reverse sweep here, which does happen. It's not the most likely thing in the world to happen, but hey, you never know. Wasteland Night does weird things to people. The ghouls come out, even if it's a little early for some Halloween celebrations. Either way, we'll see if Happy to Be Back can rise from the dead and fight their way back into this series. But it's going to be an uphill battle the way their opponents have been playing, and they're going to start off with a strong defensive stand of their own.
Absolutely here. We got a ball possession there for Darkside Masters, and I got to be right back. 1 second, Gator.
No worries. But so we'll see how this ends up going on early. We are getting some aggression coming out from Happy to Be Back, trying to get their way past the defense. Nice centering passes come out, but AK there to catch. Zia might have something. We've seen some aerial play coming out from this duo. It's not going to result in a goal there. So King Gerbils trying to drop it on in as well, but saved AK. The defense for Darkside Masters have been tested on defense, but able to pick up a couple of saves off of the 2 shots from their opponents. And a great read by King Gerbils. And Prideful Sins is going to collect it up, so Happy to Be Back. They take the lead first yet again, this time a little later than before. But hey, a lead's a lead. And off a great read like that, why not?
You said it best. A lead is a lead. And the lead has now come out after the full minute mark has passed. That's the important bit I want to touch on. It's taking longer and longer to get these opening goals for either side, which means one thing and one thing only. The competition is continuing to heat up. The screws are getting tightened down, and the iron in the fire is getting hotter and hotter. It's going to have to get pulled out eventually, and pulling out a off the back wall touch. Zaya, for your completion there, cleanup has been scheduled and taken care of, and that is the tie goal now. Beautiful pass.
We've seen this story so many times. Happy to Be Back, score first, Darkside Masters equalize. The difference is, 2 times we saw Darkside Masters immediately take the lead themselves, and only once did we see Happy to Be Back take it. We're going to see a fake kickoff come out from DM. Did not quite expect that, to be honest. They're going to be back on their own half afterwards, so it was a choice. It was a play. Either way, they're looking to try to get this out, and you can't... The way this series has gone for them, you cannot judge them to be out at any point, which feels really weird to say given that they're up 3-0. But after the comeback in Game 3, I mean, it's hard to say what you need to do to get past them. They're just playing so quick and so mechanical, and hold my breath because AK own goals. So you know what? This is the 3rd time, 4th time I've cursed people in this series. I don't know why Cookies brings me here, because all I'm doing is cursing these folks.
I feel the same way. I start talking about anything, and I'm just like, hold up. As soon as I start talking about someone cooking something, they just go ahead and score it. And, wow. I mean, if you're going to own goal, do it in style. A double tap, tight as can be off your own backboard. You know what? That's stylish. So we'll allow it here in LOS in the castle. We'll allow it.
Also, shout out to Cookies for creating a command to count my own personal caster curses in the time it took me to say I caster cursed them. Congrats. Please don't abuse it, anybody.
Oh. Hey, look, you're not going to hear any complaints from me because, you know what? I think it's funny. So, what is funny here, and not so funny if you're on Darkside Masters right now, is you got to make up 1 goal to tie this up here. They're looking for their sweep, but Happy to Be Back is not playing nice at all. Zaya has a beautiful air dribble coming out. A double tap read from your top ropes, the people's elbow. All the above, it's there. Answer D, and Zaya gets a goal.
King Gerbils coming off the back wall, defending against these has been so close so many times, but instead ends up being the recipient of a clip-worthy moment. The people's elbow is the perfect way to describe it. Just a beautiful drop-down shot to get that equalizer, to get us to that tied game here in game number 4. King Gerbils should be able to take advantage of a rare misplay from Darkside Masters. Happy to Be Back, regain their lead.
Absolutely. They are rare, but oh man, do you need to capitalize on it when it happens. Good. Almost post out there. King Gerbils is happy to get that there. He was probably sweating at that moment, thinking he wasn't going to get that there, but it did make it there in the end. And you said it. They got the lead back. Again, here. Under 2 minutes separates us, and we have a lead by your Happy Back squad. This could be bad there. Zaya is looking to get it around one, realizes he can't, takes it to the corner here, and a very feisty King Gerbils there on the ball. Prideful Sins takes your 50 on the save line with AK there for the shot. And we're seeing a little bit of a back footing right now from Darkside Masters. This is a very aggressive Happy Back squad. Demo attempts coming out to boot there to round it all up. And now comes test of time and accuracy here. Not quite there for accuracy, but the timing was. And another shot coming out from Happy Back squad there. Prideful Sins, a little bit of team bumping coming out. This might hurt a little bit as we're racing back to the ball there. Early touch by AK, no boost, can't do much more with it. To the much relief of King Gerbils there.
Seeing a lot quicker challenges coming out from Happy to be back in their own half, and I think that's what the wrinkle that Darkside Masters have been trying to deal with, and they haven't quite figured out how they want to work with it. King Gerbils, a great slow off-speed air dribble bump attempt, but the save coming out nonetheless for Darkside Masters. They're trying to get that third goal. 40 seconds left with a great demo coming up, but AK, plenty of boost, ball in air, both defenders there as well, but if it bounces out, AK back pass, some miscommunication, and running awry as Prideful Sins lets it go to take time off the clock. Darkside Masters were primed for one of the better plays and just a moment of miscommunication.
Peter, we just saw it happen in front of us. I still can't believe it. That hurt. That hurts if you're Darkside Masters right now, as the sweep is slowly getting further and further away from you with any passing moment, every passing miss, and every... Oh my lord, that was close too. He's done it before. I'd expected him to do it again, to be honest. And two goals in 15 seconds, it's not unheard of, but you have that possession. You can't be about to have a shot taken on your net to get them either. 10 seconds take us down for your game number 3, and Gator, if I might be so proud to say, Happy to be back has taken their first game in this series and have abated the sweep.
That's huge. And they're getting more and more consistent on their own offensive half in terms of goals getting scored. They're getting the reads on Darkside Masters, and I really do think it's coming down to those earlier challenges on defense. DM, they've been very quick to it. They're mechanical. They're flashy. There is no doubt about that. But one of the ways to beat that at the rank level, now I'm not saying I can do it because these players are better than me, but part of it is just getting in the face quickly. When they've had all that time to play and work with throughout the series, you get comfortable with it. If you take that away, that's what starts throwing it off, and Happy to be back. They did it well. They even put on 9 shots of their own. Did they get a game win here? Money, they're going to have to do more than just one, but a good sign of potential things to come.
Yeah, that right there is exactly what Happy Back is looking for. Not only, we've seen it. We've seen from game 1, game 2, and on, right? We've seen them getting better and better. They just had to put it all together, and this is the game they put it all together in. They took it by 2 after being down all series. The first 2 games, 6 goals were scored by your Darkside Masters, and they've managed to come back and take a game by 2 there, and they're looking strong. Like, I'm excited to see what comes out of this next game here.
I would love to see it. I would love to see him continue, but also if they don't, that means the series is over. Darkside Masters can breathe a sigh of relief and not have to worry about it too much more. But it's funny how these things tend to work out, Money. You never know. You never know how these are going to go. So, Aquadome, Under the Sea. We're going to find out if Darkside Masters are going to vibe here. We're going to see if Happy to be back score first. I wasn't even going to be too shocked because they just score first every game, but they are kept out for now.
Yeah, I mean, big offense pressures coming out there from Darkside Masters. Good clear out there to bail out King Gerbils. And a mistouch from Zaya there leaves a 1 to beat here, and a shot goes wide to the relief of AK. Gonna need some ibuprofen for that headache as the demo comes out. Another goal attempt. Darkside Masters is finding themselves on the what I would have called before rare moments that they're stuck on defense, but they've turned it around. And Zaya gets the read off of the backboard there. AK went for it himself, couldn't quite get there, and Zaya proving to be the partner in crime and the one you want to have in those heated moments.
That was just such an awkward breakdown by the defense. King Gerbils got greedy, going for boost, a bit of an ill-advised time. AK missed, but Zia's still there. It's just a breakdown is all you could really describe it as, Money. Not to be mean by any means, happy to be back, but they're going to have to pick it up here in game number 5 and not let this get too out of hand too quick, because once Darkside Masters score, they score in bursts, and I would rather not be on the receiving end if I was a member of this Orange duo.
Absolutely. It starts with one mistake. You want to limit it to that, but in those off events and off times, an off angle shot, AK, trying to talk, my friend, but you know what? We'll take it, we'll allow it, and a touch by Prideful Sins into the clutches of AK, who puts it top middle there for their second goal. You said they scored in Burst Skater, and so far they're trying not to make you a liar. So we'll see what happens going forward here.
I've never been a liar. I've just been inappropriately informed. It's not a lie if I believe what I say.
Okay. I'm not sure that's how that works.
We'll see. It's called rationalization, my friend. But good connection there. Okay, so focusing back on there, another passing play coming out. Prideful Sins gets the play off the ceiling, finds a darting gerbil, is able to get it past the attacking Zia. So they're still down by 1, but a nice connection to be made. And I like to see it coming out. So going for another kickoff. It's going to be another fake from Darkside Masters, but can Prideful Sins punish? But no. Zia playing off to the corner. King Gerbil's looking to take a swipe at it. Said Pride on the way back. Catches the cutting Zia. AK be very close to putting it on target, but bouncing past the midline, and it's going to be dangerous here, Money. Zia alone with the ball in the air, does not get the final touch. That does keep the defense back, honoring the touch long enough that both AK and Zia can retreat, get some boost, catch some breath.
I mean, you've seen it once, you've seen it twice, and you've seen it twice this game so far. Gerbils gets a goal here. His second goal. Funny how that all lines up. Yeah, that's a good read.
Yeah, maybe not catch the breath too much there. That's another air dribble we've seen go to the far corner and just pinning it to his nose, stamping it. Not the right spot for a letter, but it is the right spot if you're trying to get back into this game. But I got to take another look at that one. Money, what happened?
Bro, these players are loving this very tight margins here. That ball goes right up in that corner. AK, it just goes in.
That was an own goal off
in?
The third mechanical own goal that we've seen. I mean, none of these own goals have really been like these absent-minded moments. They've been, what's the old stereotype that the best goals are always your own goals? We've seen them. I mean, pancaking and doubling it in, falling down and getting the touch. This one not an own goal, more of the traditional style, but some of these moments sprinkled throughout the series, Money, have been a little interesting.
That is a read and a half. Reading the waterfall, that top corner, that top where it goes up to your wall, that's a difficult one to read. Like, it shows the experience level of these teams here to be able to make reads like that and be able to know, hey, yeah, that's definitely waterfalling here. Dunk attempt coming out there, falling short of the challenge. It was very, very dangerous and hopeful to go for, and we're right now, say a flick over one to be there, and Gerbils does it. We've got AK has possession of the ball. He has it going. Is it a flick? It is behind his opponent, top right corner in fashion with his 4th goal this game. AK.
Bringing it back to game 1 and 2 style, 3 as well. I mean, they're 6 goals, 5. 2 may have been the aberration after the ending of game number 4 and game 5, Money. This looks just like the Darkside Masters that we saw in the first couple of games, and happy to be back. They need 3 goals in less than 2 minutes. It's totally doable, but DM, I mean, they're playing so quickly. The biggest thing that Happy to be back can do is if they can punish any of the double commits coming out from their opponents, because it seems like that's going to be the only opportunity they have. Darkside Masters just playing too quickly and too precisely throughout this game.
Absolutely. Speed is king in the terms of Darkside Masters in their strategy, and speed might be what does it here. Breezy flick goes just off the top bar there, but it gets cleaned up and put in. Wow, look at that. Just, I don't know if AK got in the way of that a little bit there, and it may have been a goal off rip, but it doesn't matter when it goes in anyways. Say it gets your cleanup.
And switch from a Breezy to an Athena. You still get the goal afterwards to get the next touch, but hey, I mean, 6-2. We've seen the scoreline before back in game number 1. Might see it 6-3, which we saw back in game number 2, but the demo is going to open it up, and happy to be back. Some life with 74 left.
That's the second fake this game so far that's kind of bitten Darkside Masters where they don't want to get bit. And that's the first time of those two that Happy to Be Back has been able to capitalize on it. And I think what made the big difference there is the complete removal of the defender there, rather than leaving them alive and just kind of bumping them. And death and destruction surrounds us all. It's a goal, King Gerbil. We are seeing a very angry and very precise and deadly Happy to Be Back squad here, looking to make this differential up in your 62 seconds here. It could go either way if they keep playing like this.
Yeah, Prideful Sins is going to change his name to Wrath after this, because he's coming out with a fury. He's coming out for revenge. He's going to come out for a couple more goals, but no, the demo leading into that passing play working so well. They're going to get right back up into the aggression. They should be able to get something here. No, an immaculate save by AK. I thought for sure that was going to be a goal for Happy to Be Back, but they're going to have to fight for it a little bit longer. King Gerbil is again collecting the pass from Prideful Sins. The playmaker puts them up, or puts them within 1 with 45 left. Money, they're clicking when they need it most.
Put them on the ropes, and they don't seem to be flinching right now. Darkside Masters is looking to... They're asking, what is happening? Why are we getting scored on right now? We need to stop this before we sink and go to another game. We need to stop it here and now.
Oh my.
And, oh no, a bit of an overcommit there and a double commit to beat there, and Zaya is back in time for it. Prideful Sins, King Gerbil's up for the ball here. It's a double tap, called a triple, almost a save by his own teammate there, but Prideful Sins is able to muscle it through to their tie goal with 24 seconds left.
Just careens around between the two of them a few times before crossing the goal line. I mean, why not? And a perfect time to highlight that Anarchist coming in with the sub for 5 months. Much appreciated for supporting the LOS Champs channel. As this game's getting spicy, Money Magic. The most goals that we've seen from Happy to Be Back in this entire season, in a day, in a game where they really need it. They can keep this pass going across the other way. Gerbil's Pride, no. Zia over to AK. Quick cut over back to Zia. Is this going to be it? Bounces out. This is going to be dangerous with 1 second left. Zia with the hat trick. AK with the playmaker. And Darkside Masters with the lead.
Oh, good read out of that corner. And that time, there is an attempt here. We've seen these guys score with basically no time. It doesn't look to be going their way off the kickoff. There's a catch. The ball is alive, and they have only one thing to do. AK with the quick tackle, and it gets killed. Darkside Masters is able to hold back the much resurgent game for Happy to Be Back there. And they take it 7-6 that game. That is insane.
My only criticism is that there was still time on the clock when they scored that. What a 0-second goal it could have been, but still, no. Look, man, if you're giving up more goals than you've ever given to your opponent, why not score more than you've ever done? So,
yeah.
I mean, Darkside Masters, they win it in 4, and it was very much primed to be a longer series, and I thought it was going to be done in 4, to be honest, and before it started, ended up going through 5 games. I mean, it did extend one a little bit longer, but it went quick towards the end. It was a very well-fought matchup, Money.
Wow. That's all. Wow. That was. I thought we were going to see a sweep there for a minute. Like, a little bit of a breakdown happened when it mattered most for them, but they came back and was able to do it, and in style for that last goal. So, I will agree with you on the criticism. 1 second. Come on, Zay. Come on.
So as it ended up being Darkside Masters taking the win, congrats, they will move on. They're going to be playing the winner of Escape Dads versus Immigrants, with Escape Dads finishing 4-2 in the regular season, Immigrants 3-3. That matchup still to be played. We don't have the results of that one yet, so we can't for sure say who is going to be up next. But Money, they're looking pretty scary if they're playing that well. They could pop off it at a moment's notice.
Yeah, dude. When they scored in just droves. It was just one after another, just back to back to back. And it gave them breathing room so that they could kind of go for a bit more relaxed and kind of have a little bit of fun in between. Maybe the double commits that we were talking about, maybe that's just them letting loose if they have a little bit of a lead, just to try and keep their heads in check, just kind of have fun for a moment, reset the pace. But we don't know. We're not in the comp, so it could have been pure pandemonium for all we know.
It could have been. But there is one thing that I do know is that we are going to throw to a quick break until our next matchup. We're going to get everything working behind the scenes for another Tier 4 matchup. This time it's going to be 3v3. My apologies, got a little caught in my throat there. It'll be Starfall Nebula versus Sari. So we're going to throw it to a quick break. But folks, while we're gone, this break is the perfect amount of time to go sign up for LOS Champs Season 3! ! Register to find out how to do it! Discord to come hang out and see what all of the fuss is about. Go check it out while we're on break. We won't be that long. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.